Good morning, guys. Good morning. What a crazy day in football. Great week five. Has to be the best week five action in my lifetime. Just amazing football yesterday from early in the morning to late at night. Wow. I'm going to go through all the games and then I'll do the Ravens at the end because I want to do it justice. But I mean, that's just an incredible day. Really incredible. Started with the Vikings and the Jets. Jets fall a little short. God, Rodgers just looks just not great at all. And yet they're still about to win the game. And then he throws a pick at the end. Vikings hold on, they get the win. Vikings undefeated, 5-0. I mean, what are you gonna say? They're playing probably in the best division in the NFC North, so they're only one game up on the Lions, or a game and a half, I should say. But the Packers and the Bears both won yesterday. But the Vikings, they win again. Justin Jefferson's best receiver. The defense is cooking. They beat Rodgers. Got to give the Vikings credit. They are 5-0. Yeah, let's just go in order. It was a great day yesterday. Great games. This one, not particular. Not in particular. The Bears, they mollywopped the Panthers. I don't know if we're going to fully jump on board here on the Bears. You got to be careful. I want to see how they do against better defense. But 8 straight at home. Caleb Williams looked good. The running game looks good. That's going to be the ticket for the Bears. Controlling time of possession. That's what they were struggling with the first few weeks. Bears roll the Panthers. Not much to say about Carolina. They're just bad, just bad. Them Patriots, bad teams. Carolina loses, and I don't know. I don't know what the bright spot is for the Panthers. I really don't. It was a bad game for them yesterday. I got that right that they couldn't get their total in points. Glad I didn't take the under for the game as the Bears pushed that over themselves. Okay, so this is the worst coaching decision of the day. By far, could be the worst coaching decision of the year. The Buffalo Bills lose to the Texans. If you didn't see what happened at the end, the Bills had the ball on their own like 1 or 2 yard line with 15 seconds left. It's a tie game, 7 to 20 seconds left, whatever it is. Texans have 3 timeouts. All the Bills got to do is run the ball up the middle, force the Texans to use their timeouts, punt the ball away, and we'll go to overtime. And instead, on first down, Allen launches the ball out of the end zone for like 20, 30 yards. It's incomplete. And I felt like, all right, if you wanted to take one shot, because then maybe they'd have enough time to go get a field goal. Didn't work. Then on second and third down, he did the same exact thing. And so the Texans get the ball back, enough time, 59-yard field goal. I would fire the coach today. I know you can't do that, but I don't know why you can't. He lost them the game. He didn't like it. Literally lost them the game. I don't know what he did to help them win the game. I'm sure he came up with some defensive schemes throughout the week, but he's not an offensive coach, and he really blew that. If I'm Buffalo, I got to get him out of here. I would have gotten him out of there. There's a couple. He just is so tight in the playoffs anyway. He's got like the Brandon Hyde thing going on, where yeah, I know you helped build this thing, but can you get us over the top? Bills lose to the Texans. Texans are 4-1. They're going to go at New England next week. Be careful about that one. Texans are they're gonna lose one of these games. They keep Stroud was bad yesterday at the end. He turned the ball over twice. Tried to lose the game. Buffalo could not get it done. Texans are going to be good at the end of the year, but this is not sustainable. They're going to lose a game that they shouldn't lose because they're just not playing well. They lead the league in penalties. But hey, they're 4-1. Most entertaining game of the day, besides the Ravens game, probably featured Joe Flacco and the Colts. If you were watching Red Zone at any point, you thought it was like a Baltimore fan experience because it was Joe Flacco and Lamar like dueling on the split screen as Flacco's doing his best to. I mean, Flacco puts up 34 points, throwing dimes all over the place. Looked just as good as he did last year. Jaguars pull it off. Lawrence was really good. The Colts secondary, J Mart was all over that yesterday. I mean, just a field day to take the receivers against the Colts secondary. Jags pull it out. The takeaway from the game is Jaguars are still not making the playoffs, so I wouldn't put too much stock into them finding a way to win. The Colts got to make a decision because I don't know how you go back to Richardson right this second. Now, the difference between last year and this year is they paid Watson all that money in Cleveland, and we'll get to Cleveland in a second. But Watson was out for the year. It was easy to just put Flacco in there and then not bring him back because Watson's got the job. Here, Richardson's probably going to be good to play next week, if not next week, the following week. He's not in the same ballpark as Flacco right now. I mean, Flacco was amazing yesterday. The receivers are getting the ball. The ball's coming out quick. The Colts defense just couldn't hold up. It'd be really interesting to see what Shane Steichen and the Colts do. I have a feeling they at least rest him one more week. Richardson, that is. Colts go to Tennessee next week. It's a must win for them. They're now 2-3. Still feel good about them making the playoffs and getting over 8.5 wins, but they do got to win next week to go 3-3. So good win for Jacksonville. There's no more winless teams. Jacksonville goes to Chicago, or Jacksonville, Chicago play in London. I always throw away the London games, but Jacksonville is used to going there. See if Jacksonville can beat Chicago next week. That should be a good one. I said it that the Washington would win by 2 scores. You probably didn't have to give the 3 points. You certainly didn't. You could have given 20. Washington just rolls Cleveland. Cleveland is god awful. Jameis Winston has to be the quarterback next week. Deshaun Watson is, I mean, he's done. It's just over, period. End of discussion. It's over. We can do a 30 for 30 or a doc on exactly what happened to him. All the extra curricular stuff outside of football has to play a part in this. I have a distinct memory of the hurricane down in Houston in like before COVID when Deshaun was balling and he was helping with the hurricane. He was so well liked. You couldn't find any issues with him. And then now it's like, I don't even know what happened. It happened fast. He got paid, but now he's the worst quarterback in the NFL. You don't want him starting, especially with the salary. You got to get rid of him. And then who knows what kind of person he really is. I don't know. I mean, whoo, God almighty. If you had the Browns yesterday, you got to feel like a jackass. You just do. Like, if you don't want to bet on the Commanders, that's one thing. But to bet on the Browns yesterday, you're just trying to prove that you know something about football that the rest of us don't know. Because if we watch the Browns, I don't know how you could have pulled the trigger on it. They lose. Washington could have scored 50 points if they wanted. Commanders at Ravens this week. Wow. Wow. Best game of the week. Washington at Baltimore. Rivalry. DMV. Daniels. Lamar. Woo. That's going to be a great game. Washington's on a 3-game winning streak that is, I mean, you're going to have to go back and find these like the most explosive offenses of all time to compare to what Washington's doing right now. Commanders roll over the Clowns. Clowns are done, completely done, absolutely done. Their owners got bad karma. Who knows what's going on with them? Chubb will be ready to go. They'll probably be a pain in the ass to play at the end of the year as long as they have Winston in there. Maybe they get the 8 wins, but they got to get Deshaun out of there. They got to get Deshaun out, period. So, all right, 4 o'clock games because we'll circle back to the Ravens. This was another one. Don't overthink it. If you look at all the trends, if you look at the past, blah, 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 take the Raiders. But if you've watched the past couple of weeks, it's like just take the Broncos. Broncos are moving really well on offense, despite what they did against the Jets, where in that sloppy game, there was flashes of the Broncos offense in the first month of the season, and they put it together yesterday. And the Raiders just suck. The Raiders, they're just not a good football team. They beat the Clowns last week. That game shouldn't count. Raiders lose. Broncos beat them really good. Raiders just have a ton of negative stuff going on. They'll probably trade Devontae Adams this week. Not trading him to Baltimore, that's for sure. So Ravens fans, like, that's just not happening. So we can get that out of our head. But he'll probably end up in New Orleans or New York. Just the Raiders are done. The Raiders really are done. They probably got to make the switch to Aiden O'Connell. Minshew threw a terrible interception. They were up 7-0. They were actually up 10-3, and they threw an interception there. So the Broncos roll them after that. And the next 2 games are the games they got wrong. So I went 3-0 in the early games, and then 0-2 with my team totals. Wouldn't mattered if I took the favorites because the Cardinals beat the Niners. They get over their total of 20.5. And Kyler Murray makes, if you didn't see it, 4th and 5, games on the line, and he just, I don't even know. It felt like you're in the backyard. He's just falling backwards, throws it a mile up in the air, and Marvin Harrison comes down with it, and that propels the Cardinals to go down the field and get a field goal. And Purdy throws the pick at the end, gets hit while he throws it. The Niners just don't have it this year. Something's missing. They're 2-3, short week at Seattle. Let's get to Seattle now because the loser of this game on Thursday night is going to be in a really tough spot because Seattle's now 3-2. They've lost 2 straight. Daniel Jones is really good at football. Is that the headline right now? Because I know Seattle's defense is supposed to be better, but I mean, Daniel Jones went up and down the field. They should have had a touchdown the first drive. Instead, Seattle returns it for a touchdown. Then they block the field goal at the end of the game. So, yeah, it's going to go to overtime. It's going to be a 50-50 game. Maybe the Seahawks squeak it out, but the Giants find a way to win. And I don't even know what you can say besides Daniel Jones looks really, really good. That's just the reality of the situation. There were Malik Neighbors yesterday, and he's just throwing dimes all over the place. Great game from Daniel Jones. Seahawks, I hope I'm not wrong about them. I know they won the first 3 games against shitty quarterbacks. The last 2 games, Goff and Jones beat them pretty easily, like just carving them up. Now they get Purdy and the Niners on Thursday night. Need Seattle this week. Probably won't bet on it because I have enough invested anyway. But man, that's going to be a big game. Seattle, San Francisco. And then the Packers, they hold on over the Rams in a really exciting game. Rams, I'm telling all these games yesterday, outside of the Clowns and the Broncos, I guess there's 3 duds. But oh shit, I skipped over the Dolphins Patriots game, probably just like everybody else. Just completely skipped over that game. It's actually a pretty good game. I'll come back to that in a second. Let me finish my thoughts on the on Seattle. Seattle just could not. They. Oh, I'm sorry. I already finished my thoughts on Seattle. Seattle loses to the Giants. They get San Francisco on Thursday. Let me finish my thoughts on the Packers Rams, and then I'll do Dolphins Patriots. Packers. They hold on. I think it was a character win for Green Bay because Love is still trying to figure it out. It's a young quarterback, and I like the fact they're letting them make mistakes and throwing it down the field. The Packers will be infinitely better in a couple months. The Rams were close to having a season if they could just hold on yesterday. They can't. Now they're 1-4. Feels like the wheels are falling off there in Los Angeles. It'll be interesting to see what happens there with Stafford because I don't know if he's going to finish out the year. The offensive line's weak. They had a chance to come back. They just couldn't get it done. Packers hold on and win. Man, just feel bad for the Rams because it feels like the Rams had a real shot this year. I had them getting the 1 seed. And as I was saying yesterday, the way they lost week 1, even though they beat San Francisco kind of in the middle of it, the rest of the games, they just haven't been able to get it done. So they're 1-4. Dolphins beat the Patriots. Probably skipped over because there's not much to talk about. I'm watching all the other games. The Dolphins hold on and win. Stranger things have happened in the NFL. Don't be surprised if Tua gets healthy and the Dolphins win the AFC East because the way the Bills lost yesterday was ridiculous. The Jets lost. The Jets just don't look good. I don't know. The Dolphins don't look great either, but they have a ton of injuries. If Tua comes back, does that division win it at 9 games? I don't know. But my takeaway from watching that game is the Dolphins found a way to win. Maybe that's really significant here a few months from now. Maybe the Dolphins actually get into the playoffs when everybody wrote them off. We'll see. Last night, excuse me. Wow. Cowboys Steelers starts an hour and a half late. Oh, it's just ridiculous. Trying to watch the game, and they're like, okay, when's this game going to start? Finally starts. It went exactly, I pat myself on the back as far as the Cowboys throwing the ball a million times. I wanted to take the Cowboys plus the 3. I wish I did. They found a way to win the game. 4th down at the end of the game, 4th and 5. Dak makes the play. Squealers fans go home drunk, wet, and unhappy. Sorry if you're a Squealers fan, but that makes me happy. I cannot stand them. That's a great, great, great win for the Cowboys. A huge win for the Cowboys. Like that was a monstrous win. They now get the Lions next week at home, which is a really tough spot. They needed that game if they're going to make the playoffs. Big win for the Cowboys. Showed a lot. Dak went away from CeeDee Lamb the whole second half and looked really good. Dak looks good if you can't get right into his face and that ball comes out quick. A lot of really good plays. Dowdle, Rico, the running back. He's the only one. I just missed my props with him. I got 2 out of the. No, I got one and one with him because I got the receiving yards, not the catches. He was great yesterday in that 4th quarter. Made the touchdown catch and he ran the ball, moved the chains. Cowboys beat the Steelers. Steelers are in a tough spot now. They're 3-2. I guess they got to stick with Justin Fields. He shows enough that you're better off sticking with him probably than going with Russell Wilson. But there's a ceiling. There's a ceiling with Fields that's not with Lamar, that's for sure. So Steelers lose, Cowboys win. I think the Ravens now, as we head to the Ravens are in a good spot. Couldn't have gone better yesterday, right? The Bungles are 1-4. The Clowns are 1-4. The Squealers lose. Ravens. All right, let's talk about it. So The headline of the game is, and this is just a philosophy on football, philosophy on life. Unless somebody knows otherwise, right now, I'm aware of one life that you get to live. And if you play it safe, you're going to hate yourself. You might not hate yourself in the moment. You know, hate yourself an hour later, a week later, a year later. Do not play it safe. If there's one thing that I can try to preach upon people is don't play it safe. Life is way too short for that. And the Bengals played it safe yesterday and they lose. The fact that they ran the ball 3 straight times up the middle after Lamar fumbled is indicative of their character. They're weak-minded, not a lot of confidence, play it safe. I mean, your best player is Joe Burrow. Your second best player is Jamar Chase. Your third best player is T. Higgins. They've been cooking the Ravens all day. You're home. You need about 15 yards to make it a chip shot, and they run it 3 straight times up the middle. And so, of course, the nerves are flowing. It's a 53-yard field goal. We're not playing Madden. You know, a lot is on the line here, and hands get a little squirrely, slippery, and bad snap. McPherson has no chance. It goes 50 feet wide. That's the funniest thing about watching these snaps is the pressure. You do the same thing all the time. Take the snap, hold, kick. But when the pressure's there, it's amazing what happens. And you know what's more pressure? A 53-yard field goal instead of 43 yards. It just is. It makes a huge difference. I know these kickers are great. The Bengals play it safe. Lamar turns the ball over after a perfect game. I mean, he plays unbelievable and then just drops the snap. You can't make it up. We're about to lose. It's going to be a depressing loss. We're going to rip hardball for first half management. You know, the whole song dance. We can't play defense. And instead, the Bengals play it safe. Now they're 1-4. They feel dead in the water. And we'll just talk about the Ravens secondary and lack of pressure and all that crap later in the week because we're 3-2 and it doesn't matter. When you go 3-2, you win the game. We'll fix those things. It really just doesn't matter. It just simply doesn't. It reminds me of the Ravens-Rams game last year when the Rams scored 1,000,000 points. It's like, did we win? Tylan Wallace returns the punt. Yeah, just get me to the playoffs, and then we'll analyze each play. And if we lost yesterday, we might not be going to the playoffs. 2-3 with a red-hot Commanders team makes it, you know, like a 50-50 proposition if you're going to the playoffs. 3-2, that's a whole different ball game. Feel way much better about the Ravens after yesterday. Derrick Henry, woo! I mean, what is there to say about when the Ravens play like this? They're so much fun to watch on offense. I mean, just running the ball with Ricard, pounding away, leaning on those guys. Great blocking from Tylan Wallace yesterday. Zay Flowers, I thought that was the best game I've seen him play. I was really impressed. I thought he took another step in his development. The ball went to him a lot yesterday. Lamar did great. I mean, just a great performance. Do they need to make a trade to add somebody to the secondary? Maybe. Do they need to make some adjustments? Sure. Is there a lot to be desired as the Bengals are just going up and down the field? Of course. But that is the best two receivers and quarterback in the NFL. So get out of there with the win. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. Ask the Chiefs how they feel about winning, you know, being 4-0 or whatever. They just win the games. Win the games. Ravens win. Cincinnati. Tough to be a Bengals fan today. You play it safe, you're going to hate yourself. Like that's my, you know, I was trying to think of when you play it safe in life. I guess you play it safe. Couple obvious things when you're driving. Sure, play it safe. You're not trying to. Let me stop. No more. It's 7:00 in the morning. Yeah, don't play it safe. Don't play it safe. Take some chances. Go for it. Write the letter, write the email, write the text message, go up to somebody, go for it. Like, just go for it. Cincinnati doesn't go for it. Ravens get the win. Ravens go to 3-2. Feeling good. Almost good enough to forget about what happened earlier in the week with the baseball team. Speaking of baseball, thank God the Padres go 3-0, or I go 3-0 with my bets yesterday, or I was just going to boycott baseball forever. I did 2-1 on Saturday. I was like, do I really want to do this? Did it. And then yesterday it worked out for me with the Padres. They smashed the Dodgers. I did say I didn't bet the Padres money line yesterday. As I said in the little write-up, you know, seems like more fun things to do on a Sunday night than bet against Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts. but the bats were there, and now they go back to San Diego. I think San Diego is going to win this series. I think not 1,000% sure. Maybe the Dodgers need to play with their backs against the wall, but Flaherty gets rocked yesterday. Just didn't have it. Padres poured it on late, but they got up 3-0 really quick, and that was that. So Padres win. What another great game. The Phillies beat the Mets in the middle of all the chaos in baseball. The Mets hit a 2-run homer in the ninth inning to tie it again. And it's like the Mets just won't die. And then Castellanos for the Phillies gets the game-winning hit. We go to New York tomorrow, 1-1. AL plays today. Tigers, Guardians at 4 o'clock, and then the stupid Yankees have to face Ravens at 7. Chiefs, Saints. Don't bet the Saints tonight. Do yourself a favor. Like, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't put them in a teaser. Just leave it alone. Either take the Chiefs or do nothing. This is a typical Chiefs will win this game. They just will. Without all the weapons, all the hoopla, figuring it out. Saints are too beat up on the offensive line. The Chiefs will dominate up there, and Derek Carr sucks. So I like the Chiefs. I don't know about the points. I lean towards taking the Chiefs on the points. Well, I'll get my bets out later today. But yeah, it's a good week. I wrote in the recap there. Jack just had some personal things. He'll be back this week. J Mart is improving, doing great. Really enjoying having his write-ups and his analysis. So he'll be with me in the morning tomorrow. And yeah, that's that. Happy for solid week as we're moving along. So if you need anything, get in touch with me and enjoy your day, guys. I'll be here in the morning.